Good morning. Welcome to Energy Works. Today we're talking about being a better version of me. And I have to admit that's purely indulgent. The last couple of months have been quite challenging, just with a lot of things on, and I've seen more and more evidence of being not my best self and uh, not perhaps rising to the best of my ability in different occasions. And so I can see a lot of my flaws definitely presenting, and perhaps parts of me that I don't really like, but probably need to be addressed. So I wanted to clear some energy around that, and hopefully that helps you too, that you may have times where you feel like you're not performing at your best, or you're not doing life in an attractive way. So maybe to clear some energy around that. So hoping that that means something to you, and that we can help you and anyone that you care about at this point in time. And if you would like to dedicate this call to anyone, please let me know. And yeah, away we go. Okay, so we're going to start in the heart chakra. And the heart chakra, I guess, is about loving and forgiving and expressing what we really feel. Okay, we're going to start with an oil that's cypress. And cypress oil is the oil of motion and flow. So sometimes we get just a bit stuck in our ways, and we're unable to just get out of our own road. All right, so this is from Essential Emotions. Yep. So cypress encourages individuals to cast aside their worries and let go of control, so that they can enjoy the thrill that comes from being alive. It reminds individuals that damnation is simply the discontinuation of growth and development, and invites them to step out of the way and allow life to flow freely or without compulsion. Cypress shows how to have perfect trust in the flow of life. And so sometimes we can be a bit controlling or fearful or perfectionistic or a bit rigid or stuck or tense. So allowing ourselves to be more flexible, more trusting, more flowing, more adaptable. All right, I acknowledge my own loveliness. Sometimes we don't feel very lovely at all. Sometimes we can just feel like, um, I don't know. Sometimes when you don't feel good, you don't feel like you want to be around people, or you don't feel like you want to talk to people, because you're scared that what you might say won't be good, or you'll be detracting of other people's good mood. So it's like wanting to clear energy around that, so that we can see the parts of ourselves that are good, and perhaps work on the parts that are good and increase that part of ourselves. All right. So, okay. Good morning, Cassie, and good morning, Margaret. So, is there anywhere in your body that's complaining, or is there anyone you want to dedicate to? All right, love is everywhere, and I allow myself to experience it. And sometimes we might be the only person that smiles at a person, or, shakes their hand or gives them a hug. So it's important for you to be able to communicate to other people that you care and that you value them. And sometimes that's hard to do when we're not valuing ourselves. It's hard to feel valued and hard to value other people. So let's say, why am I so valuable? All right, something from age 6 and 10. So, okay, so stomach and mum. Okay, and thank you. All right, so what comes up is tired of trying to prove yourself. Sometimes we try very hard to be what other people need us to be and to help other people feel better. And sometimes they're not in a good space and they can't accept. And so that can make us feel like we're not really doing good. All right, so let's go into the aura. So, layers of the aura. Fourth layer, which is about interactions and relationships and bonds. So, leaking energy from our aura. Okay, so emotions. Feeling overlooked. Yeah, do you feel overlooked sometimes? People don't notice you or acknowledge what you're doing or acknowledging the efforts that you're making. All right, sometimes our vibration is a bit low, so wanting to lift our vibration a little higher. All right, so we're at the level of courage. So this is the level of empowerment, the first level where you're not taking life energy from those around you. And courage is where you see that you don't need to be tossed to and fro by your external circumstances. Good morning, Susanna. All right, this empowerment leads you to the realization that you are a steward unto yourself and that you alone are in charge of your own growth and success. This is what makes you inherently human. The realization that there's a gap between stimulus and response, and you have the potential to choose how to respond. And sometimes we feel very stuck in our ways, and we might feel that we reply, in ways that are not the best and might be out of habit or out of just like emotional reaction. All right, so some generational baggage here. So dad's dad. So in good morning, Elizabeth. So in case of your mum, Cassie, so her dad's dad and the men on that side, like 93 generations of men. And some stuck emotions in the genes. All right, misusing the will. So I can see that sometimes that we might, well, I can see for myself, I might push my body past what it can really endure, and I expect it to just suck it up and keep going. And sometimes it will, and sometimes it will have a dummy spit, and parts won't work, and I'll be very angry about that. All right, so now the vibration has jumped up to about 340, which is the phase of willingness. This is from um, David R. Hawkins, The Map of Human Consciousness. So seeing life as one big possibility is the cornerstone of those operating here at willingness. So no longer are you satisfied with complacency. You strive to do your best at whatever task you've undertaken. So you begin to develop self-discipline and willpower and learn the importance of sticking to a task till the end. All right, now we're in the solar plexus chakra. All right, I make wise decisions. I'm peaceful and balanced while wielding my power. I'm worthy of love, kindness, and respect regardless of what I've done. I'm able to see past my weaknesses and allow them to become my strength. All right, so in the stomach, some stuck emotions. Subconscious belief that life must have burdens. So I'm able to digest my feelings. So some generational baggage attached to that one from dad's dad and the women. Oh, that one's like 100 generations. Okay, so I'm just digesting my life, my feelings, my food, my circumstances. I allow my body to heal. Generational baggage again, mum's side of the family and the women. 93 generations of women. Okay, so an oil called kumquat. All right, so kumquats are unique in the citrus family with the sweetest part of the fruit concentrated on the outside in the peel. The complexity of complementary flavors lies within. So as such, kumquat oil addresses preoccupation with a cheerful external disposition that masks anxiousness, self-doubt, pain, and unease hidden within. I think we can all feel like that, isn't it? Sometimes we just don't feel okay. All right, individuals in need of kumquat oil tend to judge and push down feelings deemed as unacceptable or unwanted. So often they have been taught to repress feelings in order to be accepted. And I think we've all had to do that. These personalities appear happy, enthusiastic, popular, and seemingly at peace in the world, while their inner torment is meticulously guarded and hidden from view. However, this denial, avoidance of emotional pain, and fear of negative emotions can lead to destructive coping strategies and passive aggressiveness in order to continue keeping up the chosen facade. So, kumquat oil instructs that true happiness comes only through real, honest, and unstudied living. It reminds that people are a complement of good and bad, sweet and sour. Individuals must embrace their multifaceted humanness and anchor their identity in the truth in order to live authentically. Kumquat invites all to shift their focus away from outward behaviors or pretenses, which others may validate, and instead begin the quiet, consistent, and unseen journey to inner alignment, contentment, and healing. Sounds like a big ask, doesn't it? So you could either drink that, or you could put it on you, or you could inhale it. Yeah. And we might add to that oil pink pepper. Which is about intrinsic equality. Right, most individuals are caught in the cycle of constant comparison by placing themselves either in a one up or one down position in every situation in their lives. So the key to freedom is recognizing the tendency to overinflate the self at the expense of others, or conversely, of self effacement at the expense of oneself. So pink pepper energetically assists individuals with taking the middle path of equality found through their own self-acceptance. All right, so we might use this oil in terms of being more accepting of ourselves. And I guess whatever problems we have or whatever's presented to us is an opportunity for growth and learning. We may not like that growth and learning, but it is the opportunity. And trying to see it that way, I think, is really the answer. And often we can get just stuck in that we have a problem or what the problem is. So let's say I see my problems as opportunities for change. So some generational baggage again, dad's mum, and the women on dad's mum's side of the family. So 23 generations. Okay. All right, dad's mum again, and the women. All right, so quite a number of generations in the 90s. And what comes up is generationally unwilling to just be yourself. And let's say I accept myself. What parts of yourself do you have trouble accepting? What are the bits that really get your goat? All right, I easily see the lessons to be learnt from my challenges. So I was having a discussion with someone yesterday about this, and I like to use examples. So when I was about 10, I used to have to help mind my brother because he was an active kid, and mum would need me to mind him while she cooked dinner. So even though that wasn't exactly what I wanted to be doing, I think great things came from that because I learned not to be scared of babies, and I learned that if I kept walking, eventually he'll settle down, and you know, I guess a good relationship with him, and also never fearful of holding babies or dealing with babies. So that was a good thing that came from it, even though it may not have been exactly what I was wanting at the time. So I guess every thing that presents to us is like that, isn't it? It's things that we may not like, but it's like, what am I learning? What skills am I getting from this that I would never have got otherwise? So now we're going to go into the second layer of the aura. So emotions within ourselves and for others. So hooks, sometimes people latch onto our energy in unhealthy ways. So I guess we've got to go back and get our energy from the source and not from other people. And the same with other people trying to use us as the source of energy. Okay, so females present in our life. All right, and allowing ourselves to feel offended. And I guess we can, sometimes what people do we don't like, but we can choose to be offended or not be offended. And if we choose to be offended, it's like we're giving the other person power to control us. So I guess reclaiming your power, isn't it? All right, so the value of faith. So sometimes we have to have faith in things perhaps we haven't seen, or in abilities we're yet to develop, or believing that we have the power to change our life or the way it is, or the way it has been, even if it's not ideal, believing that things are possible to change. So I'm choosing faith over fear. My faith is the bridge from helplessness to hope. I have faith in a divine plan and let go of the need to be in control. Okay. So let's go into our crown chakra now. All right, and into lavender oil. I'm going to use Kim's book here. So lavender is the oil of communication. So I guess it's communication within and communication without. All right, it's safe for me to be real and share my authentic self. I release my past from each present moment, step into the now, and speak with wise clarity. I rescue myself. So sometimes we're busy rescuing other people and we're not rescuing ourselves or not doing what's the right thing for us. Do you ever fall in that hole? Okay, now the value of honesty. All right, when we are aligned in our thoughts, words, and actions, we are truly honest. In this state, it is impossible to conflict with anyone or anything. There is nothing to defend, hide, or any reason to deceive. As we seek to be honest, those around us will reflect honesty back. Just as we would look in the mirror, our state of consciousness, our vibration, or internal state of honesty will be mirrored back to us in our interaction with others and the world around us. I value honesty. Sometimes people share things with us and we might feel that it's too much or it's more than we want to understand or see, but I guess that's the power of being honest. And sometimes it's hard to see the reality of other people, their weaknesses or their struggles. And, we don't really want to know about that. But it also is the opportunity to see our own struggles and weaknesses and address the things that we're not okay with within ourselves. So, are there parts of you that you're not okay with? Okay, we're going back into the crown chakra. I feel whole regardless of my circumstances. Good morning, Kathy. I'm no longer attached to my problems. My electrical circuitry and brain chemistry work in harmony for my highest good. Okay, so now we're going into one of the higher chakras, the solar star. Right, racing around, trying to fit everything into life. I love all parts of my personality. I always have a choice. All right, so as the 10th chakra opens up, it gives way, it leads to like giving up of this judgment of oneself and others. And often we think other people should do life differently, or maybe even that we should have done life a little bit differently. But again, what did you need to learn from those experiences that you perhaps didn't like? How is it making you a better person? How are you helping other people because of the experience that you went through? And is your experience more about you being able to help others than actually for you? All right, so now the value of gentleness. Sometimes we can be brutal to ourselves. I think about when I used to play squash, there was a lady that if she had hit a bad shot, she would be very insulting to herself. And it was uncomfortable to watch her do that. She was a reasonable player, but she would just be angry at herself if she didn't hit the ball right. So our response with gentleness is not an invitation to be a doormat or a people pleaser, but a redirector of energy. So it says, I cannot be hurt by your miswielding of power because I know who I am. My words are spoken carefully and with gentleness at work and at home. I'm considerate of other people's feelings. I respect the other person's point of view and see it and respect their opinions. Okay, so into a higher chakra again. So we're in the galactic chakra. All right, and this phase is about overcoming our ego and letting go of earthly attachments. Because I guess in the end, we can't take any possessions with us when we die, can we? We can only take what we've learned and what's in our heart. All right, so this chakra can be weakened by self-martyrdom. So I definitely have to say I've got to put my hand up for that. I sometimes thrive in being the martyr, which isn't good. I think it's like learning to be loving and helpful, but also not at the expense of self, because it's limited then. Because if we keep withdrawing, money or love from our bank account, eventually, unless we're putting deposits in, we're going to be overdrawn. So prayer is what helps strengthen us. Service is great. And of course, service as directed by prayer, even better. And knowing how to take care of yourself in the process. I ask for what I want. I'm no longer affected by what I perceive, for I know it is a reflection of my conditioning. I think that's very true. Often we perceive things in a certain way, may not be the truth, but it's our perception from our life experience. Okay, so now we're going into the value of trust. Sometimes it's hard to trust that the experiences that we have or are having or have had are for our highest good. We can feel very hurt or cut or damaged by the experiences that we have. But if we're able to stand back and look, sometimes we can see what we've learned through that. All right, basic mistrust can sometimes be a reflection of our belief that you have to do life all by yourself, that you are on your own. Trust, in a nutshell, is the knowledge that you do not have to do life all by yourself. Thanks, Elizabeth. To trust ourselves, our true selves, is to see the difference between our divine nature and our ego. We are not our myriad of thoughts telling us that we're ugly and incapable and the world is scary and unfriendly. We are the observer of those thoughts. Trust more in the observer and not the ego. The world is our mirror and the lens of trust will change our experience. It's safe for me to trust my partner with money or with children. All right, age 23 comes up here. I'm worthy and deserving of other people's trust. I trust those who have made mistakes in the past and give them a second chance. All right, so back into the solar plexus chakra this time. I speak to myself. Good morning, Elizabeth. I speak to myself, and about my life in positive ways. I see myself as equal. I'm loving myself and others unconditionally. I know that I am worthwhile. So generational baggage preventing us from feeling worthwhile. Dad's side, dad's mum's side, and the women. Like 73 generations of women. All right, so part of our Celtic weave. So is there part of your body that doesn't feel okay? Lower body, lower back, perhaps. So it's like a part of our energy field that weaves and repairs. Sometimes it's got a glitch and it's not repairing a certain area. Okay, so Elizabeth says my back, and the other Elizabeth Tricasa, says yes, lower left back and very tired. Okay. All right, so what comes up is don't care what happens to me attitude. And sometimes we can just, throw ourselves into something with no regard for ourselves or the longevity of what we're doing. Stuck emotions in our back. All right, hanging on to old concepts. So sometimes we have to update our DNA and update ourselves on how we see life and how we're living our life. Okay, again in the higher chakras. So we're in the universal one now. All right, so this is a phase of self-mastery and awareness of our true creative power. All right, the grave holds no power. I am one with the universe. I am one with all that is. Other emotions stuck in the back. Feeling like there's no letting up. And sometimes we can have problems that go on very long term and, there's no quick fix. And it's like we have to kind of have stamina and endurance to get through whatever it is that's challenging us at this point in time. All right. Also, what's hiding here is refusing to let go of the past. So, if there was something in the past that you're hanging on to, what would that be? All right. Something from age 16 and 26. 33. Sorry, I'm using a page now. Using feelings buried alive. So, all right. Feeling unwelcome. Okay. So, Elizabeth, absolutely feeling that life hurts. Yes, life, it can be, it's like it's throwing encyclopedias at us on nuts and bolts. So throat chakra. Right, I'm accountable for how I use my power. I release to the light all energy or entities that do not belong to my energy system. I create positive thoughts and actions. So is there something that you could just take a small action in, a little baby step towards what you want? My heart is overflowing and open. Okay, so Elizabeth Jones says having better health. Yeah, I guess health is a gift we can give to ourselves, isn't it? And it's deciding that we are willing to do things that are good for us, even if we may feel that we should be helping other people first. Often we can help people better if we're in good condition. I allow myself to have better health. So what's one thing you can change this week? Is it to drink more water, or is it to eat more vegetables, or give yourself time to meditate or to be still? So vitamin D deficiency comes up, so maybe you need to get out in the sun. Maybe you need to do a bit of forest bathing where you go out into nature and allow the sun to help heal you and allow yourself to discharge the feelings that are stuck in your body out through Mother Nature. All right. I always have a choice. So sometimes it's hard to think about like fixing your whole health or your body all at once. So it's like every decision that we make, we're just kind of thinking about, is this leading me to better health or away from better health? And so trying to make decisions that are more in line to having better health. And lots of little decisions, I guess, are the sum total of our health, isn't it? And so learning to make uh, decisions ahead of time. All right, so Elizabeth says, drink more water. I always like to be in the sun. That's good. And it's good to get outside and do that. Okay. All right. Thank you for your commitment, Elizabeth, to drink more water. I like to see that commitment. And choosing lovely water too, the best that we can do it at the time. And I guess if our call today is about being our best self, it is all those small decisions, isn't it, that help us to be a better self. Decisions about expressing our feelings, decisions about accepting the good and the bad in ourselves, the decision to be kind with ourselves and gentle and, teachable and peaceful, to continue to improve who we are and to be able to like ourselves more. All right. So, any last things that you're feeling in your body, mind, or energy field, or anything else we want to talk about before we close? Thank you to those that comment. It makes such a difference to have comments. All right. Well, thank you. And I hope that your day is amazing and that you can use some of this and to feel more able to be your best self and to make those decisions that help you to be better and better. Anyway, leave that with you. See ya.